First, let us understand what cutting someone off means. It means you decide to remove someone from your life. You stop calling. You stop texting. You stop answering. Sometimes you even block them on social media. It is like closing a door and locking it. Many people do this today. It is very common. In the past, it was harder to cut someone off. People lived close to each other. They met in person. They had the same community. But now, with phones and social media, you can remove someone with one click. But why do people cut everyone off? There are many reasons. Some people cut everyone off because they are hurt. Maybe someone lied to them. Maybe someone betrayed them. Maybe someone broke their heart. When people feel deep pain, they sometimes build a wall. They think, if I let no one close to me, no one can hurt me. This is a natural reaction. When a person touches fire and gets burned, they do not want to touch fire again. In the same way, when someone feels emotional pain, they may avoid people. But sometimes, the problem is not other people. Sometimes, the problem is inside. Some people cut everyone off because they are tired. They are mentally tired. They feel stress. They feel pressure. They feel overwhelmed. They may smile on the outside, but inside they feel empty. So they disconnect. They stop answering messages. They stop going out. They disappear. This can be a sign of depression or anxiety. When a person feels very low, even small tasks feel heavy. Sending a message feels difficult. Meeting a friend feels impossible. So they choose silence. There are also people who cut everyone off because they want control. They think, if I leave first, I win. They are afraid of being rejected. So they reject others first. It is a way to protect their ego. Ego is a strong thing. It whispers, do not look weak. Do not explain. Do not apologize. So instead of talking, they leave. Now, let us talk about the people who are cut off. Imagine you have a close friend. You talk every day. You share secrets. You laugh together. And one day, that person stops talking to you. No message. No explanation. Nothing. How do you feel? Confused. Sad. Maybe angry. You ask yourself many questions. What did I do wrong? Why did they leave? Was I not good enough? This is the painful part. Cutting someone off without explanation can leave deep emotional wounds. Sometimes, not knowing the reason hurts more than the reason itself. Communication is very important in human relationships. We are not mind readers. We cannot know what is in someone's heart if they do not speak. Let us take a simple example. Think about a story like Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. Many problems in that story happen because people did not communicate clearly. When people hide feelings or avoid honest conversation, small problems can become big tragedies. Of course, not all cutting off is bad. Sometimes it is necessary. If someone is abusive, toxic, or dangerous, cutting them off can protect your mental health and your safety. If someone lies again and again, cheats, or hurts you on purpose, you have the right to walk away. Walking away from harm is not weakness. It is strength. The difference is intention. Are you cutting someone off to protect your peace? Or are you cutting someone off to avoid responsibility? That is an important question. Many people today use a word: boundaries. Boundaries are limits. They are rules you create to protect your time, your energy, and your emotions. Healthy boundaries are good. For example, you can say, I cannot talk right now. Or, I do not like when you speak to me like that. Or, I need some time alone. That is different from disappearing without a word. When you communicate your boundary, you show respect. When you disappear without explanation, it can feel like punishment. Now, let us look deeper into the psychology. Some people who cut everyone off may have something called avoidant attachment. This means they feel uncomfortable with closeness. When someone gets too close emotionally, they feel fear. So they run. They may not even understand why they do this. They just feel uncomfortable. They may think love is dangerous. They may think depending on someone is weak. On the other side, there are people with anxious attachment. These people fear being abandoned. When someone cuts them off, it hurts them very deeply. When an avoidant person meets an anxious person, the relationship can become very painful. One runs away. The other runs after them. One wants space. The other wants closeness. If you are learning English, notice the words I am using: avoid, fear, protect, boundary, ego, responsibility. These are important words for talking about emotions. Now let us talk about social media. Social media makes cutting people off very easy. You can unfollow. You can unfriend. You can block. You can mute. And you do not have to see that person again. But social media also creates misunderstandings. Sometimes people think they did not like my photo. They are ignoring me. Or they did not reply quickly. They do not care. Small digital actions can create big emotional reactions. In the real world, relationships are complex. But online, they look simple. One click can end years of friendship. Is this healthy? Sometimes yes. Sometimes no. It depends on the situation. Let us imagine two examples. In the first example, a woman leaves a relationship because her partner is emotionally abusive. He insults her. He controls her. He makes her feel small. She tries to communicate, but nothing changes. Finally, she blocks him and moves on. This is healthy. She protects herself. In the second example, a man gets into a small argument with his friend. Instead of talking, he blocks the friend everywhere. He refuses to answer calls. He tells other people, "I am done." But inside, he still feels hurt and angry. This is not healthy. This is avoidance. Avoidance means you run away from a problem instead of solving it. Growth happens when we face problems, not when we hide from them. Now, I want to speak directly to people who cut everyone off. If you are one of these people, ask yourself, what am I afraid of? Are you afraid of being hurt? Are you afraid of conflict? Are you afraid of looking weak? Sometimes saying, "I am hurt," is harder than saying nothing. Sometimes saying, "You disappointed me," is more difficult than blocking someone. But maturity means facing uncomfortable conversations. Let us talk about forgiveness. Forgiveness does not mean you accept bad behavior. It means you release anger for your own peace. Some people cut everyone off because they cannot forgive. They keep a list in their mind of every mistake. When the list becomes long, they erase the person. But remember, you are not perfect either. Everyone makes mistakes. If every mistake leads to cutting someone off, you will end up alone. Now, being alone is not always bad. Solitude can be beautiful. Spending time with yourself can help you grow. Many great thinkers like Albert Einstein spent time alone to think deeply. But there is a difference between healthy solitude and emotional isolation. Healthy solitude is a choice. Emotional isolation is often a reaction to pain. If you cut everyone off again and again, you may start to feel lonely. At first, you may feel powerful. You may think, "I do not need anyone." But humans are social beings. We need connection. Connection does not mean you need many people. Even one honest friend is enough. Let us also talk about pride. Pride can destroy relationships. When two people argue, sometimes both are waiting for the other to apologize. Days pass. Weeks pass. Silence grows. Finally, the connection dies. All because no one wanted to say, "I am sorry." A simple sentence can save a relationship. In English, practice saying, "Can we talk? I feel hurt." I need space, but I care about you. These sentences are simple, but powerful. If you are someone who has been cut off, I want to say this. Do not always blame yourself. Yes, reflect. Think about your actions. If you made a mistake, learn from it. But do not destroy your self-worth because someone chose silence. Sometimes, people leave not because you are bad, but because they are not ready. Life is long. People change. Sometimes the person who cuts everyone off at 20 years old becomes more open at 30. Growth is possible, but growth requires awareness. If you notice a pattern in your life, pay attention. If every friendship ends the same way, if every relationship ends with you blocking the other person, maybe it is time to look inside. Ask yourself, what am I avoiding? Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand your own feelings and the feelings of others. It is not taught in many schools, but it is very important. When you understand your emotions, you do not need to run from them. Let me share a simple truth. Strong people communicate. Weak communication creates weak relationships. Silence can be powerful, but it can also be cruel. Before you cut someone off, ask yourself 3 questions. Did I clearly explain my feelings? Did I give this person a chance to improve? Am I acting from peace or from anger? If you can answer these questions honestly, you will make better decisions. Sometimes, the right choice is to walk away quietly. Sometimes, the right choice is to stay and talk. There is no one answer for every situation. Life is not black and white. It is many shades of gray. As you improve your English, also improve your emotional vocabulary. Learn words like respect, trust, patience, compromise, empathy. Empathy means trying to understand how another person feels. When you have empathy, you do not cut people off easily. You try to understand their side. But empathy does not mean accepting disrespect. Balance is the key. In the end, relationships are like gardens. They need water, sunlight, and care. If you ignore them, they die. If you destroy them in anger, they die. But if you protect them and communicate, they grow. So, if you are thinking about cutting someone off today, pause. Breathe. Think. Maybe a conversation can solve the problem. And if you truly need to leave, leave with dignity. Leave with clarity. Leave without hate. Say what you need to say. Close the door gently, not with violence. Because the way you end things says a lot about who you are. Thank you for listening. As you practice English, practice kindness. As you learn new words, learn new ways to express your heart. See you in the next lesson.